Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to show you how to make a nice flat round circle. So to make a flat circle, we're going to start with a magic ring or a magic circle. You're going to be able to pull the center of your circle really tight and you won't have a hole in it. And I'm going to show you how to make this magic ring. Now with the tail end of your yarn over your hand, you use whatever yarn that you want to use to make your flat circle. I'm using a double knitting pink yarn. You use whatever hook goes for the size with the ball of yarn that you have. Look on the label. If you look on the label, it will tell you what size the crochet hook or what size of knitting needles to use with that type of yarn. So I've got a 5mm crochet hook and I've got my double knitting yarn. So with the tail end on your hand like this, wrap your yarn around and make an X. Make an X, that's the tail end of my yarn at the front. Make sure the tail's at the front. So I've made an X. Put your hook under the top right side of that Y, of that X, and pull your yarn through like this. Take your hand out and get your working yarn. Give it a little pull, put it around your hook and pull through that loop. Now you have what looks like a little lasso. Give it a little tightening like that. It doesn't need to be that big. Just pull it in like that. So once you've got all your stitches inside there, when you pull that tail, it'll pull the inner circle, the inside of your circle really tight like this. I'll show you again how to do that. So the tail end of your yarn on the front of your hand, just hold it with your thumb, bring your yarn around the back of your hand and cross it over into an X shape. That's the tail end of your yarn. Bring your hook under this top part here and just pull your working yarn through. Pull it through, take your fingers out, get your working yarn, put it over your hook and pull it through that little loop. And that's you got your little hoop. Looks like a little hangman's noose. Just pull that tight a little bit, not too tight. You don't need a great big hoop. So there we go. Practice doing that because it's a really handy thing when you pull it tight and you don't have a hole in the middle of your crochet. So now you're going to put your yarn over your hook and pull through. We're doing a chain of 3, so we've got 2 stitches, yarn over and pull through. Now this is called a treble crochet stitch in the UK. If you're in the USA, this is a double crochet stitch. So you'll count that chain as your first stitch. So that's you done, that counts as your first treble crochet. Put your yarn over your hook, through the hole, right through, and pull your yarn through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Put your yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. Yarn over your hook, into the big loop, pull your yarn through, yarn over your hook, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we've got, count your chain of 3, it's 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 3 stitches. We're going to put 12 all together. So when you count it, you should have 12. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, into the hoop, pull your yarn back, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've now got 4. Count your chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're going to keep doing that until we've got 12 all together. So we've got 12 inside our little loop like a ring. Make sure you count that chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So what you're going to do now is take that tail end and pull. Pull that little magic ring tight. See how the hole in the middle disappears? Pull it. So now what we're going to do is a slip stitch. So that very first stitch is a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Take your hook and push it through the top third stitch in that chain. Push it through. Just push it through there. No yarn over. Just push it through the top of that chain. Put your yarn over now and pull it through, and then pull it through that loop to close that little circle. So that closes your little circle. We'll sew that in with a darning needle later. What you're going to do now is chain 3. So yarn over your hook and pull through. That's 1, yarn over, pull through, 2, yarn over, pull through, 3. So we've got our chain of 3. Into this next stitch here, we're going to put 2 treble crochets into this next stitch. So yarn over, we're going to put into the top of a stitch, catch both parts of that stitch, pull your yarn through, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. So into the same stitch we're going to do another treble crochet. So yarn over and into that same stitch, put your hook in through that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Forget about a chain just now. So we've got our first increase. We've got 2 treble crochets into that one stitch. Now into the next stitch we're going to do the same. We're going to put 2 treble crochets into every single stitch. This part of a stitch all the way around. So yarn over and into the top of the next stitch and pull through. Yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. Yarn over again into the same stitch, into the hole right beside the one that you've just done. So if you're crocheting along, we're putting 2 into every stitch. If you're in the USA, this is called a double crochet. If you're in the UK, it's a treble crochet. So we've got 2 in that stitch and 2 in that stitch. So we're on to the next stitch. So yarn over and go through the top of the next stitch. Make sure you catch the 2 parts of that loop. You can see it there. Make sure you catch the 2 parts. Pull your yarn through, yarn over, through 2 loops and through 2 loops. Put another one into that same stitch, another treble crochet. So we're increasing around, all the way around this circle. So the next stitch, 2 treble crochets into that same stitch. 1 and 2. The next stitch, 2 treble crochets. 1 and 2. Now if you pause the video we'll work our way around, 2 into every stitch all the way around to the end, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. So I've worked my 2 treble crochets into each stitch all the way around to the end. Now this last stitch I'm only going to put 1 treble crochet into it, because I've got my chain of 3. That'll make up my 2 trebles for each stitch. So into the bottom where this chain of 3 is, I'm going to put 1 treble crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now that's your chain of 3. Count 1, 2, 3. Now into the top here, we're going to just push your hook through. We're going to do a slip stitch. Push your hook through that stitch, put your yarn over and pull it back. Pull it through. You've got 2 loops. Now just pull it straight through that loop there, and that closes that ring. The next row, so we should have 24 stitches. You should have 24 stitches all the way around your little circle. So again, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next stitch, we're going to put 1 treble crochet, 1 treble crochet into the next stitch. So we're going to increase our circle, 1 treble crochet into that next stitch. The next stitch, we're going to put 2 treble crochets. We're going to put increased stitches, so that's 2 treble crochets into that same stitch. That's our second one. The next one, we're only going to put 1 treble crochet. If you keep putting 2 into every stitch, your circle will start to go like this. If you keep putting 2 into all the stitches, it'll work its way up like a bowl. We want it to stay flat like this. So this next round is 1 treble crochet into the next stitch, 2 into the next stitch. We're going to put 1 treble crochet into the next one, and then we're going to put 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. This is an increase stitch, 1 and 2. 1 treble crochet into the next stitch. We're going to do this all the way around, so it'll be 1 treble crochet, then 2, 1 treble crochet and then 2. So I'm back round to my last stitch where my treble crochet, where my chain of 3 is. So I'm going to put right at the bottom of that treble crochet, there's a little stitch there. I'm going to put my 1 treble crochet in. So that 1 stitch and my chain will make my 2. That'll make the 2. So then we've got 1, then we've got 2, then we've got 1. So the chain of 3 makes up my second stitch in that one. So into the third chain, 1, 2, 3. So count your chain, 1, 2 and 3. Push your hook through that third stitch in that chain of 3 that we started with. Pull it through and slip stitch to finish your circle. So what we're going to do now, the next round, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the next stitch, you're going to put 1 treble crochet. The next stitch, you're going to put 1 treble crochet, and then you're going to do your increase by putting 2 into the next stitch. So this time we're going to have 2 single crochets in between our increase stitches. So yarn over into the top of that stitch, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops. Don't count the chain just now, because your chain will get your little increase stitch at its side. So we've got 1 here, you're going to put 1 into the next stitch, 1 treble crochet. So you've got 1 treble crochet, 1 treble crochet, and we're going to put 2 into the next stitch. So that's 1 treble crochet and another one into that same stitch. 1 treble crochet, 1 treble crochet, and then 2 to increase. So 1 treble crochet into the next stitch, 1 more into the next stitch, and then we're going to do our 2 trebles into the same stitch, our increase stitch. So we're going to do 1, and the next one, that's 2, and then an increase stitch. So that's 2 trebles into the same stitch. Then we'll put 1 treble crochet, 1 treble crochet, and then 2 into the next stitch. Then 1, 1, and then 2. Each round you're going to be increasing the number of single crochets in between your increase stitches. So down here we've only got 1, we've got our increase stitch, 1 treble crochet, and our increase stitch. The next round we've got our increase stitch, 1, 2, and then our increase stitch. The next round you'll have your increase stitch, then you'll have 3 single treble crochets, and then an increase. You'll do that for as big as you want your circle. So we're doing 2 single crochets, 2 single trebles, 1 into that one, and 1 into that one. It's my second one. And 2 into the next stitch, 1 and 2. My 1 treble crochet, my 1 treble crochet. So we're back at the chain. So right at the stitch at the bottom of the chain, this chain is going to be our increase stitch. So we've got 1 there. So yarn over and into the bottom where your chain is, I'll put my treble crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch 1, 2, 3 into the third chain, the third space in my chain. Pull your yarn through and just slip stitch to there, and that is how you make a perfect flat circle. So if you're a beginner, that is how you make your nice flat circle. Your next row, chain of 3, then you'll have 3 single treble crochets and then a double, 3 single treble crochets and then a double. So you'll put 2 into that stitch, 1, 2, 3, and then 2. Every row you'll have more and more in between your increase stitches. So the row down here, we've got 1 in between our increase stitches. The next one we have 2. The next row will have 3 stitches, and then 4, and then 5, and that is how you continue to make your flat circle. If you want to do a shawl, just keep going and going and going, and you can see how you're increasing, and that makes a nice great big circle. So to finish this off, just cut your yarn, put it over your hook, and pull it right through that stitch. You're going to get yourself a darning needle. A darning needle's got a big eye in it. Thread your yarn through the darning needle, and you're going to just put some stitches in to hold your yarn in. I come down through, work my way down the treble crochet, just work your way down that treble crochet. We'll turn it to the back, and I'm just going to pull it through a few stitches just to fasten it off. Pull it through. Snip my yarn off. This is the back of my circle. Put the yarn onto the darning needle again. And remember, we did the little magic circle. Just give it a little pull to tighten it in. And put a few stitches into the back to hide that end. Trim your yarn off, and that's it. So there we go, you've got your little flat circle. If you want it bigger, you'll be increasing the amount of trebles in between your increased stitches, just like this. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please click on that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe to my channel. If you click on that bell icon, then you'll get notified when I put up another tutorial. So thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.